Hello YouTube, Kashif here from KRGraphics, and I'm back with another video. And this one brings me with great excitement because after all the work is done, working on clothing, the visual details you see here right before you, it's now time to paint the last part of my design, which is the skin. And this part always gets me excited because this is where we create the life for a character, the personality of the character, and give them a really cool look too while we're at it. So if you've been following my series, we've done many things with this character. We've worked on the base anatomy, which is important to help you, get an idea of your character proportions. We worked on the clothing in Marvelous Designer to get them dressed up. And then we brought the same clothes in the ZBrush, where we get to actually sit down and add details to the clothing, stitches, you name it. It's absolutely awesome that you have to do all that. Then we followed up with creating the character's face, head sculpting, retopology, UVs, and then painting everything you see here right now in front of you. Now, in the last 3 videos that I showed, we worked on the glove, which I'll bring up close here. And these are high-res textures. These are in 4K, so it'll look very, very detailed in the game. We also worked on the boots as well. I'll go ahead and post those 2 videos. Well, actually, these 3 videos in the next few moments. And then the robe, which is probably my favorite part of the design, because I will admit, when I was working on this robe, I got kind of frustrated trying to figure out ways to get the clocks to look good on the model. So I was very happy with that, the way it looked. And so now, before we get started, of course, I want to show you the result of my work inside of Moto 11. And here, this right. And with Moto 11, we have the model displayed using the Unreal shader, which is equivalent to what we're working with inside of Unity. Basically, all the shading quality, which uses physically based rendering, which helps us recreate the surfaces that we have in the real world, which is very important in my work because years of learning this, I waited many generations of computer graphics to really learn how to use physically based rendering. And so right now, the last piece of this right here is work on the head, which is what we're going to do right now. So I'm going to shift back to Substance Painter, and before we start working on the head, I want to show you the channels that I've been using inside of Painter. Now, for those of you who are not aware of what physically based rendering is, I will give you the long and the short. Physically based rendering is a rendering technique that allows us to recreate surfaces based on real world properties of science, such as the roughness of a surface, such as charcoal, to how shiny something is. So right now I'm going to show you the channels that we have here on our character. And I have channels that are specific to this project. I'm sorry for sniffling here. I'm dealing with allergies and all that stuff, so I apologize in advance for any kind of sniffling I will be dealing with here. So let's go to material channel here and we'll turn on the solo. And I'll start from the base color. And what base color is, also known as albedo, is basically the appearance of your surface. So like right now, my t-shirt is blue. If I put it in the game, it'll be blue. And what you see here is mainly a flat color. There's no lighting detail whatsoever. We do not need this in physically based environment. And what happens is with this is how light will react to our object, the color. Basically, of course, what I try to do, at least in my own work, is create a color texture that is not too dark or too bright. Especially if you're using a lot of post-processing effects, which will basically take your colors and blow them up to like ridiculous brightnesses, which I don't want. So, and also too, we don't want any shadows baked into our texture, which may have worked back in the day on the PS2 era, Xbox era, even PS3 to an extent. We do not do that here in this kind of virtual environment. No baked lights. Next one is the height channel, which is pretty self-explanatory. Basically, in computer graphics, a height map depicts how it determines the peaks and valleys of your surface. So white goes up, black moves down. And one of the advantages in Painter I found is that you can do both. You can paint a stroke and control the depth or the height of that stroke. Roughness. Now this is a very important channel. It's out of physically based rendering. This determines how rough or smooth the surface is. So example, my t-shirt. My nice blue t-shirt, which looks really cool. Okay, not cool, but I've had it for a long time. It still looks good to me. This shirt is rough. You can see how the lighting on this, it feels matte, you know, it looks very rough here on the shirt. And that's an important look for our physically based renderer. Black means it's very, very smooth, you know, almost like a mirror finish. And white usually means it's a very rough surface, such as concrete and charcoal. Now of course, this is very important to get working correctly. It's very important to get this right. If you're working in textures in Painter, you'll spend a lot of time on this channel, the roughness channel. And the next one is the metallic channel, which is another channel I work with a lot. And this channel will determine whether your surface is metallic or not. Basically, most of the time, it's either it is or it isn't. And white means it's metallic, black means it's non-metallic. I'll give you an example of this right now. On my desk here, I have this. Look at this thing. Isn't it great? I love this damn thing. I got this at my Museum of Science in Boston, and this is called a Newton's Cradle. And this is a perfect example of the metal rough workflow, which most games now use a lot, such as in-game engines such as Unity, Unreal 4, and CryEngine. They mostly use 50-based rendering. And what you see here, example of metal rough. This wood base is non-metal surface, which known as a dielectric. So basically, you probably can see it here, but I'll come in close. You can see it. See the reflections from the ball. It's kind of rough. It's not real rough, but it's a little smooth too, like a polished surface of sorts. And you see the frame here. This frame is not only smooth. Essentially, it would be like a zero roughness because it's like almost like a mirror finish, but it's also metallic. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit these real quick. You'll see, you kind of see the quality of them. And yeah, I just want to do that real quick. I love this thing. But basically, of course, in a metal rough workflow, you want to be able to work very carefully with this to get the values you want correctly, especially for metals. And basically, also too, in the real world, I think in some, well, in offhand renderers, if you want like a metal surface, you can turn off the diffuse all the way off to black, and it'll create that look, that mirror look. But of course, in visual-based rendering, to create things like the silk on our character, I have to cheat a little bit because silk is something not easily created, and I create a hybrid material. Except for like imagine like dirt on a metal surface. That's like a in between like metal and non-metal, like rust, which is basically metal becoming oxidized in between our materials. So let's go to the next one. Next one is specular channel, which I don't use in my projects. It's only there for legacy purposes. Basically, in computer graphics, such as this, engines like I think Unreal 4 and Unity have a hard-coded engine value of 0.5 or neutral gray. I think CryEngine and Frostbite have the same settings. I'm not sure about those two because I've never used them before. So basically, of course, I usually keep this in there for legacy purposes, such as for, you know, I have a lot of old projects that use specular. So it's important I keep that there sometimes. Ambient occlusion, self-explanatory. It's basically the new rendering trick we've always had for a long time now in all of our work. It basically helps with lighting our objects, which is great. I sometimes use it very, very sparingly when I'm working my projects. It's kind of weird using it on a moving character, but sometimes my shader won't notice it very much, especially if you use it as a post-process in your engine. Next, emissive. I don't have anything here. That's usually black. Normal mapping. Pretty self-explanatory. This texture allows you to display all of your high poly detail on a low poly mesh, giving the illusion and appearance of a very high detail surface. Isn't that great? I actually love the idea of this map. It's my favorite map to go to all the time and work on my texture maps. Now this one here is very special. This one was inspired by a video that I saw for the GDC. For those of you who played Paragon, which is a really great game, I haven't played it myself yet, but I think I should buy PS4 just to play Paragon. When I was watching this, they had in their video they mentioned using the use of masks to allow us to have like entirely normal maps, like cloth fibers, little nano skin bumps, you name it. And one of the advantages of this is it allowed me to like add details to my cloth without actually modeling it in, especially in Painter, where sometimes creating certain details you can't always get it in there cleanly in the final texture. And details like fiber bumps, cloth fibers, it's often best to do it in the engine itself, where you have almost infinitesimal amount of detail, almost ridiculous actually. And I will post a link to in this video in the on the timeline on the YouTube video. But anyway, in the shader I'm using in Unity, shader editor actually, if you're familiar, if you haven't seen it yet, it's called Amplify Shader Editor. It's really great, especially for people like me who is not a programmer, but I'm more of an artist. Anyway, red, green, and blue are used to determine which type of normal maps I will use my character. And black is also unaffected, which means in my shader, black is the main normal map that will not be blended in together with it. So this is great for like adding indefinite details. I mean, right now I'm limited to 4 additional Nito normal maps without running into errors in my shader. And this is the alpha channel, which I haven't added in yet. That'll give me another normal map to add on to. So, with that being said, let's get started and paint some skin. I've been dying to do this for a while now. Ever since I began doing my series, I've been aching to work on my skin textures. So right now, let's start working on the skin. So for this particular video, I'm gonna do the skin texturing using some smart materials and just start blocking in a lot of our values here for skin. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the roughness like way up because right now I'm not interested in roughness right now for this character. That is not important, and I will admit that it was hell getting this into Substance Painter without it crashing on me. Particularly baking in all the fiber mesh from ZBrush. I didn't show this process inside this series, but I think I'll do a quick overview of creating fiber mesh hairs for game texturing. So right now, let's get started by going to our skin base, and I'm gonna go ahead and use smart material. Something I saw from GDC as well is a texturing tutorial by a very great artist by the name of Magdalena Dadela, who is, to me personally, a fantastic artist. I've followed her work for many years, and I'll also add a link in the video timeline for you to check out the video as well. I think the information in that video using Painter to paint human skin is by far the most in-depth I've ever seen. There's also another video as well by another artist by the name of Glauco Longi, who is also another artist I followed for a few years now, and they're all really great artists. And I will say right now, if you guys still have Substance Painter, I recommend you guys taking the chance, download the trial from Algorithmic, and take a spin for yourself. You will not be disappointed. And even better, if you own the suite Substance Painter and Designer, you basically have a very big suite to work in your projects with. And also my pipeline is set up specifically for Substance Painter and Designer to go into Unity or Modo. Which is great about this is really good about the we work in your game projects, film projects, and characters, creatures, and props. The pipeline when I work with it's damn near automatic, which I like. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead now and set the smart material up here in my skin base, and also too my folders. I have it set to pass through, which is I don't know why it's if I create a new folder instead such as Painter, it actually cuts the normal. I hope they fix this in the next update, where basically it's set the pass through. So here's our skin material right here. This is great. It's beautiful. And let me turn off the post process here. Turn that right off there. Here we go. And this is our skin texture we're gonna work with here. And I'm gonna tell you right now the things I'm gonna turn off here. So here's the base skin. This is where you set your skin color, skin tone. The roughness is set to 0.35. I don't know why it's that high. So I'm gonna turn off the normal mapping, speculars, turn off the height, and the roughness channel. That's right now. I do not care about that channel right now. The skin detail. This is the little spots in the skin. You're gonna turn on the base color. Zoom in. You'll see the little white dots there. In my other video series of my skin painting, I use a different method for painting the skin. And this time, I want something a little different. After watching Magdalena's video, I'm gonna try this out for myself and see how well it works. So basically, in this video, I want to go ahead and try the same technique she did for painting her character, and see if I get any kind of visual differences. You know, whether or not it feels painterly or natural to me. In fact, I might do both. I might do both kind of paintings in the future for the characters. My first painting phase I usually do with this is like I use a spots brush and paint this very spotty mist all over the character. It's kind of similar to how they do it in a wax museum. So anyway, I'm going to skin pores. We're not worried about that right now. We don't really care for it. So let me turn off some of the features here. Turn off skin pores. Don't want them because they're already baked in. Skin patches is already there, and I'm going to tweak my ambient occlusion map. Set that to red, to a very deep red. You know, sounds like overkill, but I'm going to make sure that it looks really, really good. You can see it there, a little bit of redness in the skin, and the subsequent scattering. I'm going to turn this off because honestly, of course, it's very visually distracting to me, and I don't want it turned on. And not only that, too, we will cover painting and editing the transmission map in another video. So right now, let's begin by painting our textures. So I'm gonna go ahead now and set this to pass through. Okay, and also too, you see here too above is the result of the AO. We're not worried about this here. This isn't important to us. So, and basically, all of this we painted out. So let's begin by starting off with a quick paint. What I usually do when I paint my textures is I'm going to start off with a technique called mottling. Not modeling now. I mean mottling, which is basically spraying a fine mist over your texture. And looking down here too, because I have a stopwatch for this video, and I'm trying to make sure that I don't go too long or being too short without missing anything. So I'm going to go to red, and I'm gonna turn off all the channels here. I do not need them on right now. So it's important that with the channels on, we go ahead and set the set to a nice red. So this is a nice dark red here. Okay, and then we'll turn on a black mask. And let's go to my brushes here. And I usually when I paint my textures, I usually use something called what I normally use for I use the spot spray brush to do all this, but I'm gonna try something different with this. I want something nice and dirty, something quick, right? Dirty is good, right? Never dirty. So I'm going with this brush here, and I'm gonna paint red all over the model. So I'm gonna flow a little bit, so it's not so strong. We're spacing a little bit, and this is part about painting. So let's go ahead and start painting this model right now. So we'll go ahead and start painting. Just paint your surface here. Nothing wrong with that, right? Let's keep painting it. You notice I have a mask here too. So I'm painting here, all the color will appear. Oh yeah, it's great, isn't it? Let's go a little bigger. Paint a little more gusto on this one. And you're probably noticing too that I'm not just holding the brush on dragging. I do not want that. What I want to do is I want to paint it with a little bit of gusto. I'm kind of like painting here in a circular motion. You know, taking the brush, spin the brush around when I paint. You know, make sure I get all over the model. That is important here too. Let me just change the color a little bit. Using ZBrush, I used to do the same thing with ZBrush, with poly painting. You know, it was great, you know, but after a while, it got harder to paint my textures using poly paint because I could not see the other channels. I think because the Painter came out, I was very happy with this program when it came out. You know, it had everything I needed to paint my character's textures with no problem at all. It's like really great program. You know, it's and something Designer and Painter work well together. If you guys haven't get a chance yet, definitely watch the video tutorials by KRGraphics. They have some phenomenal tutorials, and I couldn't be happier with them. So as I'm painting, you know, I'm thinking about the blood flow of the character's skin, where it would be, all the other stuff, you know. And the key here, this painting process, is not being neat. I do not care about being neat right now. You know, when you're working your characters, you know, being neat is something that is not important here. You know, this is your opportunity to get messy. You get really messy. You know, we're not here to be perfect. So kind of going in, painting all the details here. Don't forget also when painting, I'm not just dragging the brush across the surface. You do not want that. I'm just, you know, painting everything on your tablet in a circular motion. Let me show you actually my tablet what I'm doing here. My tablet. So right here, when I'm painting, I paint that. Circular motion like this. Boom. Take the brush, spin it like that. So I'm painting my textures. Water here. Yes, I show you this is water in this bottle. I mean, you know, hey, I'm an artist, you know. I can't be thirsty. You can't be parched and creative. There we go. A little bit of nourishment. So anyways, get back to the painting. So go back here to paint. Boom, boom, boom. Get the brush around and spin it around. Okay. And I kind of wish Substance Painter had a feature like ZBrush where if I click out here, it'll move the viewport around automatically for me. I don't know. It kind of feels weird. Working in ZBrush, that you come here and paint. It's actually marvelous to see that kind of thing. You know, I've been using ZBrush since 2006, and it has never let me down as far as like sculpting my character is concerned. I mean, you know, I'm able to get unbelievable quality in my texture mapping ever since I've used this program. And not only that too, but it's also become increasingly easy to paint your textures there. If I turn on material mode, you can see all the crazy little squiggles in my surface. I also use the X key too to remove some of the squiggles as well. It creates a look of randomness in the surface. Now I'm no pro at this. I'm not a professional. I'm only a hobbyist in Boston who's been doing this for the last I guess I could say I started this 13 years old. Took it seriously when I was 17 in high school, so I'm 33 now, so I guess I could say I have about 20 years experience with learning computer graphics. And I hope these videos I aim to, like, you know, not only get noticed on YouTube, but also share my passion with you. You know, share the fact that art has kept me out of trouble for all these years. Art is a great savior, and I really hope that, you know, those of you who are artists out there, you know, we use art as a means to make the world a better place. You know, the old saying goes, we are the change in the world, and we are. So, and also too, it helps to when you, as a painter or as a texture artist, especially for creating characters. And it's gonna sound strange, but you want to people watch. I work retail, and when I'm not doing this, I work retail by day, and I can't help but people watch. You get to see all kinds of variations in people's height, skin tone, blemishes, you know, pot marks, wrinkles. I mean, I will say that it is the most beautiful thing in the world to see as an artist. You know, it's very, very important to me that I go in there If you know, there's no saying that a lot of other artists have told me in the past when I was learning this craft. Create what you see. You know, sometimes you can't see it directly. You can use Google or not even Google actually. You can actually use muscle memory. So, for example, like you go to work one day, you see something awesome, but you can't take a picture. You know, try take a mental note of it. You know, it's really, you know, using mentality is a really good tool. We working on 3D models. Oh yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And right now I'm painting all of this model, all over it. You know, not necessarily you don't have to do the entire model, but I choose to. This is something I've always been doing for many years, and it's yet to fail me. You know, I usually cover the whole model with red splotches all over it. You know, very random splotches, very random. You know. You have also probably noticed my texture settings that I have it turned down to 2K. The final texture will be 4K. And well, if I can get away with it. If I can do it at 4K, that's cool. If I even look, see, check something. If I go in close, yeah, I think I'll be using a 2K texture in the final game character for this design. So I'm kind of going in and just spraying the red mist everywhere all over the model. You know, creating a feeling of blood on the skin. So I'm just kind of going in there. I'm looking down my stopwatch to make sure that I'm making good time. You know, I've also this series is also a way to help me get faster in my work, and I think it's really fun. I treat this as a diary of sorts. You know, and I hope you guys who see these videos, my series, you know, get inspired and you learn a few things. Even if I can't show you directly, because I'm not in the industry yet. I haven't had the opportunity to work at a company or work among others who I can learn from. So far, all my learning is from the internet. You know, using like YouTube videos and watching other artists over the world who are really good as well. You know, I will say this right now, you guys are my inspiration. Okay, so I think it's enough here for the skin modeling red. Looks pretty. You know, like what's that word I'm looking for? Looks meaty. Like it reminds me of like stripped muscle, which I have seen in medical books. It's pretty gross, honestly. All right. So next, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna add some. I'm gonna add some I'm gonna add a cavity map on top of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and same things before. I'm gonna turn off the. I'm gonna set the, like red. Like a deep, like not deep red, but just enough so that I can carefully blend out the detail. And I'm gonna add a bitmap mask. Now in my past videos, I usually had a hard time with this because I didn't know technique for blending. I used to take cavity map, multiply it over, but it looked weird to me. So using a mask, using it as a mask, this time I can go ahead and get all the skin pores detailed in here. And these maps, the skin pore maps anyway, they were baked at 8K. They were baked very high resolution, which is great. You want that. So this fill layer turned on. I'm gonna add levels, and I'm gonna invert that because what I want is I want all the skin pores. You know, you ever look at a person's face and you see the skin pores. This is great. You want to see those skin pores in character's face. You probably never noticed that because you know looking closer at a person like this. So I inverted it, and I'm gonna bring down the levels a bit to get rid of some of the pore detail because I don't want all of them showing at once. Kind of like this. And kind of I'm gonna go back a little. Just keep tweaking the layer a little bit. Yeah, kind of like that. And a little of the detail too as well, so it's not so. So this is heavy-handed. Like that. And I'm going to also go ahead my modeling layer and bring it down a little bit too. This is pretty low-level stuff here. There's nothing's this is not finished at all. So we're kind of going in and just changing the detail a bit. So my skin layer. And of course, I'm gonna paint out some of the detail on top of this. Using spots brush. I'm gonna go ahead and pick it black, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same motion before. Squiggles. Just paint some of this stuff out. You know, some of the harsh lines you'll see in there, we don't want them in there. It's very important to try to keep as much detail as possible. You know, this cavity map here. Kind of going in, just here we go. And just for right now, I'm gonna go with this for now. So the next layer we're gonna add next is we add some cavities. So I'm gonna add another layer on top of this, and it's gonna be my warm tones. I'm not an art theorist, but you know, in color theory, there's certain parts of the face that are hot, warm, and cold. And in this case, I'm using the warm tones to indicate areas that are you know, as far as I know of, they're close to bone. And this character is pretty small, pretty skinny character. So without, you know, he has a lot of muscle detail. So a lot of fat in his face. He's kind of like, you know, skinny, emaciated. So let's go back right now, and I'm gonna add a black mask. And same as before, I'm gonna go ahead and start splattering color over the face, right in the nose area, the cheek area as well, and the chin, the forehead. I can also do the top of the skull too, which is closest to bone. And again, I'm just going in, going in circles with this. Going in nice little circles here and there. You know, feel the harmony in your brush strokes. You know, don't be afraid to paint. Sort of full a little bit. Full so high, so let's turn it down some. And of course, I'm also a shortcut to change the color is the X key. I'm using that to paint out some of the yellow there. I'm just going to paint some yellow on the forehead and right cheekbones. This is closest to a muscle in the face. You know, you feel your cheek. There's a little bit of muscle there, and bone underneath there as well. Just kind of going in and bridging the nose a little bit. And the nose is cartilage, so we want to add that in there as well. So I'm kind of going in and just, you know, very messy, going in and just painting in those little tones. And you probably haven't noticed yet that I'm not using symmetry on this. No symmetry. Something that I obviously avoid when I'm painting my textures for skin. You know, usually having a little bit of asymmetry to help your model, help you work a little bit. Makes it feel a little more natural, cohesive. This character is by no means a hyper-real character, by the way. This is my style of design for characters is stylized realism. He'll look realistic, but has sort of style to him. This character is a 25-year-old Caucasian male, and I want to make sure that he, you know, looks young as possible. So there we go. So I'm kind of going in there and just. Kind of going in there, just you know, painting these tones everywhere in his head. And the idea here is not to be neat. You know, we're not worried about neatness here. So just kind of going in and just painting the details where I want them to be. And also, too, the reason for this series also is not only for artistic inspiration and sharing my love for computer graphics with the world. But I'm also working with you know, I'm working through personal challenges that I face daily. If you've heard my videos, you know, I have issues with you know, my speech, and these videos kind of help me a little bit to talk to the audience and work on my speech a little better. I'm also an artist living on the spectrum of autism, living with Asperger's, which is another challenge altogether. And you know, basically, you know, we have a lot of passions, and computer graphics is mine. So There's not one day I don't get up in the morning and I don't work on my art. You know, it's very important I do. It's very important to me that I work on my art, that we're happy, you know, that we're working, that we're going in and creating the world that we feel that we want to see in our imaginations. So I'm kind of going in right now, just painting the chin area, as well as along the jawline here, which is mostly this bone on the jawline. You know, this thin muscle and bone underneath all this. So I want to add all that in there. Here we go. And there's also a little bit of yellow along the ear as well. I'm gonna turn the symmetry for this one, and just paint that area a little bit. You know, paint yellow along the helix, the ear itself, like this a little bit. So I'm kind of going in and just, you know, painting the surface where I like it. And when I feel I'm done, I'll go ahead. I'm usually finished here. This one usually finished at this point. So go a little more yellow. Just kind of going in real quick and adding, filling the ears a little bit with this. And I usually fill, you know, add some yellow on the lower area where the collarbone would be. Which is another part. This is another reason why it's, you know, I like looking at people and studying people's faces and seeing how they look. So that being done, I'm gonna go ahead and now add a filter to this, and I'm gonna add a blur filter on top of this and lower the intensity of it. You know, it's very painter like. So next up, I'm gonna go ahead and add some orange tones in the skin. Basically, I don't do this one layer of red or yellow. I build in my layers. In fact, you saw a lot of my other videos on the skin. I would usually build the layers up repeatedly to reach a desired effect. A little bit of orange here. And basically, it's a rinse and repeat of everything I did already. I'm just going to keep painting it until I'm keep painting details if I'm happy with it. You know, kind of want to get some more reds in there. Oh, also turn down the strength a little bit, the opacity on this. There you have it. It kind of reminds me of like chicken. You know, you ever buy chicken, you see the pink layers and the yellow fat layers and the middle and the kind of the chicken and kind of the chicken skin itself. It's kind of like that. It's kind of, I will admit, it's not very delicious, but okay, delicious is a word I would use to describe local chicken skin. It's not very appetizing, but it helps to look at, you know, references of, like, you know, for painting skin and everything. I usually look at a lot of medical books and cadavers for references when I paint my skin. I will admit though, it's like seeing a cadaver. I'm seeing a real life cadaver in a medical book is I will admit it's a little morbid, but it does help a little bit with your creating human skin and anatomy. In fact, I remember a few years back when I started learning this computer graphics seriously. I think it was back in 2006, I think, or 7, and they had an exhibit here in Boston. It was called Body Worlds, and I had about a friend of mine with me, and it was fun. I learned a lot that day about, you know, the human body and how it's all connected. You know, and basically ever since then, I've been very fascinated by the human figure. You know, in fact, I not only am I an artist, but also my mother's an artist. You know, and basically, if my mother's watching this, I thank you for passing your skills on to me. You know, there are days I do miss watching my mother paint. You know, and hopefully she sees this and she, you know, has an ear-to-ear smile watching this video. And actually, too, this past Sunday was on Mother's Day. I hope everyone had a great Mother's Day, and, you know, and give their mother the world. So it's a beautiful thing. Just paint some orange tones here. Again, being very haphazard in the head. We're not worried about We are not worried about detail right now. Don't care for it. You know, basically, I'm going for like a, you know, I guess you could say a multicolored piece of meat on my 3D canvas right now. So it's kind of cool looking at this and be able to recreate, you know, what I see digitally. You know, I'm just building up tones. Actually, I could probably go a little stronger on the flow for this. And just go to town. Let's just really go to town with the character's face and adding on to flesh tones that will normally show through very cleanly. It's kind of cool to watch all this. And I definitely recommend you guys you know, download a trial for Substance Painter. It's free for 30 days. It's a free 30-day trial. And actually, too, let me go ahead and turn off this quiet hours. Yeah, it's a feature in Windows 10 that I like very much. It actually allows me. It actually allows me to It's basically allow me to paint my textures and do all this cool stuff. Give me one sec here. So basically, if you guys are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you guys can follow me at you guys follow me at KRGraphics CG, which is basically all same name, you know, same channel name, and we can basically go ahead and create. We can go ahead and follow me on those channels, and you'll always see my work on every channel. It's the same name. I think I had a bunch of names before, and it made it harder to follow people. So if you guys are watching this, I appreciate you taking the time to see my work and learning a lot from me. And right now I'm kind of going haphazard right now with all this. Actually, let me do something real quick, because I should have let me see, to go to skin base. I'm gonna create a black mask in this so that I don't accidentally paint on the wrong surface. So let's do this real quick. I usually do this all the time when painting, so that when I'm painting like my teeth, I don't actually get the texture in the wrong place. So I'm kind of going through here and just adding orange tones and creating all that detail. So I'm kind of going in there and just painting and, you know, adding that really gross looking detail. You know, very haphazard, nothing detailed right now. You know. Alright, so now next, we're gonna go ahead and add another fill layer, some cold tones. These are areas that are like around the eye sockets and the mouth, and some parts of the nose and cheeks. I also add this in recesses, something like the ears. In fact, I learned these techniques from reading different books on painting textures. I do have books written by Scott Spencer, modeling with ZBrush, as well as for creating characters in ZBrush. He actually had a book on this. That's in his room somewhere. I gotta find it, but it's a really good book, and I recommend reading it. You know, so you guys learn from it and pick up from it as well. I'm going to add some blue on the eyes. You probably notice now it's gonna have some sort of tinge. I do not blur my textures, by the way. I do not add any blurriness on these paint layers. I like having a lot of modeling and making it feel very splattery, like a mess. You know, it's kind of like you know, you're throwing paint on someone's face, and this is where it comes from. Change the blue a little bit. It's a little too. There we go. It's a little better right there. You know, basically, he looks like a clown, right? Ever look at a clown? You know, like a clown. You know, maybe like you know, Home and a Killer Clown. You know, that kind of thing. It's kind of creepy to see this kind of paint like this. So let's turn on symmetry. Let's turn on symmetry mode. Just turn on symmetry mode again. And this time, by the way, if you ever hear this fill layer, you get this little mark here and click, it'll warn you that you can't paint with your fill layer. And I use fill layers all the time when I'm working on my models. You know, usually fill layers have saved me a ton of headaches in the past. All right, so let's paint the blue tones in the recesses of the ear. This is basically this is like a very what do you call that? This is a very cold area of the ear. You want to paint that in there so that when you paint it, you get a nice blue cast in there. Okay. Try symmetry mode. And now we're gonna add, and now we're gonna work on another layer. And basically, I keep building layers up until I'm happy. So I'm gonna add another layer of red. And this time I'm gonna go ahead and use a very dark crimson, and we'll put that in the nose and ear, in the nose, mouth, and ear area. So very deep, very crimson my color. And basically I'm just building my tones, very slowly building everything up until I feel that it's ready for the detail phase. So I'm kind of going in and adding red around the mouth area. It's full of blood there. Adding some red in the nose area as well. You know, kind of going in and like going very haphazard in our skin textures. You know, we'll go ahead real quick. Let's go. You know, let's go strong in this area. Let's go very strong. Let's see what's going on with this. Make sure it's white. You have it. And I'm going in very strong in this area for the nose, mouth, and ears. Those are areas I would go very strong in. So stronger in. And again, like I said, I'm not worried about being clean. I just want a nice clean texture. I'm trying symmetry for the cheek area. I can always, like, you know, probably easily paint out areas I want. Switch it out. And I'm basically going in like very, you know, very like a clown kind of deal. I'm gonna add some red in the ears. I'm gonna go very strong. I'm gonna go very strong again. Oops. I'm going very strong in this area here in the ear. That's another part. That's another part of the character that I want. Yeah. Turn my stopwatch back on. And basically, what I want to do is make sure that you know, when I do this area, it's very strong, very strong in the ear. And I'll probably blur this area too when I finish it. You know, basically I'm being very messy right now, my approach to painting textures. Alright, so turn off symmetry real quick. And turn material back on. And this is how it looks like with the all the mess we've made so far on this. I wanted to have some sort of like color in the lips as well. Not like lipstick, but you know, just enough to indicate there's blood under the skin running. And again, I'm just going through real quick the brush to take a quick circular swipe at the surface. You probably noticed too that I didn't particularly care for the surfacing of this character. So next up, we're gonna add some splatters, and I'm gonna call it splatters. Call it splatters, and I'm gonna go ahead with a nice dark chocolatey brown. This one. Let's go a little lower here. Here we go. And this is where I use the another brush, not the dirt brush this time. I'm going to use the spot spray brush. This is where the real fun begins when I do my painting. So I'm gonna go in real strong with this brush. And yes, going strong. You can go in strong with this, or as strong as you want. But I'm gonna go pretty strong in this brush, and I'm kind of going in and just start painting a little. Actually, it's kind of working, but not working. Actually, this brush is not doing the job right now. It's kind of like a fine mist of sorts. Here we go. Let's use this brush instead, the dirt brush, the dirt 3 brush. And again, start painting little spots in the head. Okay. Like I said before, I'm not just painting the brush and dragging. I'm gonna paint, then drag, circular motion. Give it a little spray in the face. Actually, let's make it a little brighter. Actually, it's kind of dark for my taste. You look at people's faces, you probably see all this. You probably see all these little details in the face, which we painted over. I'm just doing this to add some sort of variation to the skin. So let's keep going. And usually here too, I usually paint like blue in the neck area, in the pits. But for now, we don't have it. For now, I'm not worried about that right now, since most of the details in the face. This is where we add a lot of imperfection in our skin textures. So I kind of want to go in there and make it imperfect. Just go in there, be very dirty. You know, being clean is something. Being clean in this process is not important to me. So I'm kind of going in there and start just making a big mess. You know, imagine you're a kid and you're throwing water paint on your canvas. It's kind of the same principle. Go in there, add make a mess in there, add a bunch of, you know, little strokes in there and all the other stuff. And also too, I mentioned there's settings here like side jitter. This is a good one too to mess with. It'll make big and small paint. It'll make big and small dots as well. And I want to focus on the face a little bit as well. It's mainly in the facial area. And in the detail phase, you'll see me do more of this. It's kind of splattering in the face. Okay, and we'll kind of go ahead and lower the splatters a little bit. Blood flow a little bit as well. You know, and I wasn't very strong in that one too, because I wanted most of the blood flow in the character's face and skin. Okay, so let's go ahead now, and I'm gonna add one more layer of yellow to break this down a little more. And it may seem like I'm doing a lot of yellow and everything, but I want to make sure that we layer it properly. You know, basically, we're not just doing one layer of color and calling it done. That's not what we want. We do not want that. We want to keep on building up layers. I've seen painting in the past that's unbelievably realistic and it blew me away that I can able to do that kind of thing. You probably noticed too that as well that I love being humorous in my painting. So like these are things like things like more yellow, yay, or something like that. It's kind of funny to me. It's kind of funny that I do all this, and we'll add some more yellow tones in the cheek area, which usually indicate fat in the cheek. And let's go low in this one. Go a little lower, and again, just going in, sweep the face. And we're not using symmetry. You know, we don't care about symmetry at this point in the face. And actual reality, the human skin is very plain. Believe it or not, the human skin is very, very plain. So we're gonna use it to our advantage. However, in the game environment, we want to make sure that we offer some sort of semblance of skin detail and texturing. I'm also switching off the color of the mask of the brush so that I can paint away some of those messes we made just now. Got a little bit here. Oh man. So the roughness channel. I think it's turn this off. We don't need these right now. Here we go. Yeah, allergies are. It's allergy season here in Boston. I mean, a lot of trees and pollen everywhere, so I'm kind of feeling the effect of that right now. Okay, so I'm gonna add one more layer of this, and this time it's gonna be a layer called layer that I called squiggles. It's kind of a cool squiggles. I'm being humorous in my painting, and this time I'm gonna set this to like an off blue of sorts. And this would be used to break up the skin even further. And from a book I read from another artist as well, I learned this trick from watching wax painters paint their models. And we're gonna use, what brush do I want to use for this? Let's see here. And we're gonna use this cracks brush. And we'll go ahead and change the position jitter as well, angle jitter, the flow jitter, and the side jitter as well, so that we get so that we paint it. It feels randomized when we paint it. So we'll go ahead and just do this, and we're gonna go ahead and paint all over the face area. Oh, we can paint all over this, but particularly the face area as well. So like this, and again, in a little figure. Actually, turn the floor up a little bit so you can see everything more clearly. So kind of going in right now, just you know what? Let's do this. Let's turn the color to black so you can see them. So you can see what I'm doing a little better. There we go. And now let's go in. Squiggles on the skin. You won't really see it though at 2K, but what this will do is this will help us break up the surface a little bit. I do this sometimes to add some sort of variation to the surface. Even more variation is already there. Okay, this isn't working, so let's see. Change it to here we go. Change it to white for now, and then I'll come back and modify it a little bit. But this is so that I can see my details I paint. And again, when I drag the brush, I'm not stay in one place. I keep the brush moving. Keep it moving. Don't hang one spot too long. And don't be afraid to invert your brush stroke to a negative so that it'll erase it. You know, basically, I don't stay in one place too long. I paint and paint and paint until I get the result I want. Kind of going in, just paint here, everywhere, squiggles everywhere. So many squiggles. That's kind of cool, isn't it great? I love squiggles. I get to watch them and create the squiggle lines and all the other stuff. It's very helpful actually too to really go in there and paint to your heart's content. Kind of going in, just go in there and start painting and everything, modifying the colors till you like it. Call me crazy, but I'm usually, because I paint my skin textures, I'm a very messy painter. You know, I don't know. This guy reminds me of old hamburger meat. I mean, I don't think it turns yellow like this, or I imagine like muscle and fat everywhere and gristle under the skin right now as you're seeing this. So right now it looks pretty gross actually, looking at this. Oh man. So I'm kind of going right now and just make sure I paint everywhere I go. And one of the strengths of Painter that I love the most is the fact that I can paint my textures seamlessly. It's a great feeling to see your work come to fruition before your very eyes. And right now I'm kind of just sitting here and painting all my textures where I like them and making sure they look great to me. And once it's finished, we go ahead and we'll start lowering the this layer a little bit called squiggles. So we can lower it down a little bit. In fact, let's turn it to like blue or something. Blue. to add some, just a little bit. And in fact, I want a few more splatters on here, so we'll do that as well. You need a few more splatters. Make it feel strong. So make it feel like really. Actually, not dirt. This brush. I want the dirt 3 brush to do this with. And going in right now, just adding little splatters everywhere on the character's body, and it'll help us with more variation in the skin. So this is probably the most fun part in my painting experience. You ever been on like watercoloring like that? Get an idea what I'm talking about. It's kind of fun, Try one day. Go outside, like some paint. Make sure it's Make sure it washes off easy. Otherwise, you'll have you'll be a lot of trouble at home if you ruin the furniture. I'm sure I've ruined many a couch growing up. By throwing paint everywhere. Or a pair of clothes. It's not fun. I can see it now. My parents reaching through the camera, and like, "What have you done to your pants?" It's pretty funny actually to think about it. So, of course, any questions at all about my process, feel free to leave a comment in the box below. I'll be happy to answer it. All right. So I think we're almost ready to add some detail on top of this. This is no way finished. We're not done here yet, at all. We're kind of going in, just changing all. We're kind of going in and just kind of going in and making necessary changes to our texture and getting the skin ready to be painted. One thing I want to do as well is we need to work on our teeth and tongue. That's another important thing. And I'm not gonna put that in the skin base here. I'm gonna call this folder actually tertiary details. And I created a folder for this too, specifically for later on. So I'm kind of turning off the roughness right now because you don't need it here. And I'm in this background layer. This is just for me to it's just a way for me to control the roughness, see what it looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and add tongue. Add a tongue and a black mask around that. Set the pass through, and I hope that algorithmic will set a default for that, so that we can make it easy to work with. So it helps if you use Photoshop growing up, like I have. It'll help you immensely. I love Photoshop for that purpose. So I'm gonna go ahead now and add a fill layer, and I have a smart material for this. It's called a tongue, and I'm gonna go to my materials. Unfortunately, I don't have a real tongue to sample from, and I'm not gonna do it here, so it's kind of disgusting, honestly. I don't want to think about that. And there's our tongue, and that's pretty much it for the tongue. We don't have any other detail to think about other than. Actually, I do. I'm gonna add a fill layer on top of this. And add the illusion of the those taste buds. If you ever notice on a tongue, it's white, which is not a good looking color. It's disgusting. And a curvature map on there. This is our taste bud texture. I'm going to add levels on there. See if I can invert it. Okay, I don't want to invert that. Honestly, I want to make it just enough so that you see only the taste buds. Trying to see, there we go. I want that right. That's pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and just it's an overlay, not an overlay. Trying to see here the color I'm looking for. Let's give it a second here. Yeah, I don't want to multiply that. Alright, I'll just go ahead and just leave it alone for now. It's normal. And change the color as well in this one. And sometimes I keep finding myself turning these colors off so that we can actually have taste buds on there. set the screen. So I'm kind of like trying to find a nice little mix between the two. Okay, that's good enough for our needs for now. It's a tongue, you won't really see anything, but I'll probably find a real texture layer for the tongue, so I don't have one right now, so. And now the teeth is another important layer we need. Go to group layer. And we'll call this one teeth. Create a black mask for that as well. And we'll go ahead and just pick the teeth, the tooth meshes right there. So, okay, and we'll call this one. We'll call this gum. Call this gums. And I have a layer for that as well. I mean, I don't have an actual texture for this stuff, like teeth and gums. But for now, this will work. This will work for now for our purposes. So, and it will paint this out too while we're at it. I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate this layer. So Control D, duplicate, and we'll call this teeth. We'll go down to our teeth layer. This is kind of this color here, which is actually for the color of the teeth. I actually took pictures of my own teeth, and somehow got a very dry. I took a towel in my teeth and I smiled and I ended up tweaking color in Photoshop a little bit so I can get the look of the teeth. This is very important to try to get that look of the teeth in the mouth. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add in a layer on top of this. And I'm gonna call this cavities. Add a bitmap mask on top of this. That for a second. And for this one, I'm trying to think. I want to be set to turn off the what is it? Not screen. Set the overlay. And not that one. Max lighting. It's one of these. I don't remember what I did, but definitely not multiply. Yeah, give me a second. I'm trying to remember what I did a while back with this. Alright, that case that'll work for now. And we also want to go into our different channels. Let's go to cavities, and only really want is just the roughness color in AO. So we're gonna go ahead and go to our roughness channel, and we're gonna turn this to like very what do you call that? Very right there. And go to a folder, reference folder, and I'm gonna set this to pass through. And let's see, do an overlay on this one. Not an overlay, keep it normal, but it was starting all the way down a little bit. There's actually a really good reason for this. Actually light max. Wasn't sure I did before with this, so if that's what happens when you work your textures and you forget what you set it to. Okay, it's overlay. There we go. That's good. That'll work. That'll work for now for our purposes. You can barely see it there, but it's affecting the surface a little bit. I actually want the cavities to actually crap, this isn't gonna work for me unless I do something drastic like what I can do is get rid of that and duplicate the layer, and this one will be just rough cavities. I'll show this again later on for the skin detailing session, but for now we just want the just here. There we go. And we'll go to the normal. And basically what I do for this one as well is create a levels. And we're going to remember that white is very rough, so we don't want any shine between the gums and everything. So I'm going to revert that, and then, well, you won't notice it at all, but I want to make sure that looks really good when we add our detail. And try color dodge. Okay, this should be good for what I want to do. Okay, go to aim inclusion map for this one as well. And for our AO, we want to set this to multiply. And we'll set the image inclusion to like something really dark there. So it's kind of a pain for us. What we're trying to do with this. So there we go. Levels invert. Here we go. So let's cycle through it again so I can see what I did. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead. So I'm gonna create 3 maps for this one. It's kind of overkill, but you know, this is how I get my fine grain control of my textures. And I'm gonna do one more. This is gonna be cavities. Color. And yes, it's important to brush your teeth. Color for this one, and we're going to get rid of the levels. There we go. So that's pretty much all we have ready for the teeth. And I'm gonna go ahead and paint. I'm going to paint out the teeth here. Its mask. So so our teeth. Let's go to our base color, and I'm gonna create a black mask for this. And we're gonna use the regular brush for this. Start painting out the gum and all that stuff. So going real quick, and it must follow the line work of our cavity map. It's kind of why it's there. Actually, too, if I do anything more, let me turn down the so a little bit, so that's not so powerful. Because that's the before, we do not want too much baked lighting into our textures. So kind of going in just real quick, painting out all the low line work there. The teeth mask. We want the teeth to be seen in the game, and unfortunately, there's no feature currently to pick our meshes. So if you see any drawing here, it's because it's using the tangent space in the 2D viewport to paint. So until that point comes in version 3 or something like that, where we can actually pick our meshes to paint from, this is the best thing. You know, hoping that we could pick our meshes in the future, hide them, or pick a sub mesh, hide them, and use it as a paint layer. It's absolutely crucial that we work like this. You know, it helps a lot too when I'm working my textures. I sit down, take my time, and just pick my textures, sweat like them. So I'm sorry this video is going on like hour 13 minutes, but you know, I did a video this last night, and unfortunately this morning I found out the audio's messed up in that video, so I'm kind of re-uploading this video tonight. And it's plus it's 2 o'clock in the morning here, and I do want to get some sleep. You know, in fact, for you guys who are artists out there, I think being up to like 2 o'clock in the morning doing this is the perfect time to paint. At 2 o'clock in the morning, you have no obligations but to create. Okay, and to sleep actually. You want to be able to lay down, go to sleep, and just, you know, you re-energize. That's an important aspect of creativity when you're working at art. So I'm kind of going in and just quickly painting the teeth out. So I could have turned on symmetry too as well. I'll do that in the next one. Turn on symmetry. And we'll start taking out textures a little bit. There we go. And I think for future characters, I'm gonna have to end up modeling the teeth. I'm gonna model a kit for teeth. These are from a scan. I don't remember where I got it from, but these are some really good teeth. And unfortunately, from a scan, I'll have to take the teeth and somehow separate them from the model so that I can actually create a version of teeth that will have all the poly groups that we need for baking out the textures. So it's almost beneficial too for us. It helps immensely. You know, be able to do all this and have separate teeth to pick from. I'm kind of going in real quick and just painting out the teeth a little more. This is not painting the teeth is not essential sometimes, but I feel that it will help immensely if you paint your teeth. So let's go real quick look at this and see what it looks like. All right, there's our teeth for now until we zoom out. And this is the look of our texture right now. It doesn't look delicious. It looks very unappetizing. You know, basically like a clown who didn't wash properly and makeup got all over the place, or a clown was drunk or something like that. So I'm gonna stop here. In the next video, we're gonna work on adding detail to the skin texture. At this stage, I'm not done yet. This is only the beginning. And with this in mind, we can add much more detail on the skin. We can add way more stuff to this if we wanted to. Make it feel more organic to our liking. So, if you like what you saw, hit that like button, guys. You know, so help me stay motivated and keep making more videos in the series. We're also near the end of this series, episode 3, for this character. And I'd love to hear what you guys want to see for episode 4. I think it'd be really awesome if I can create something like this for you guys, for the fans. So, and also leave a like. Any questions you have, you can put them down in the comment below. I will answer them. And definitely subscribe. I always have some really cool stuff here when I create my models. So until next time, this is Kashi from KRGraphics saying have a wonderful evening, happy creating, stay inspired. Have a good night.